Have you ever felt confused about your career and then did the most obvious thing? You started talking to people. You spoke to your seniors, your friends, you asked your parents, you watched one more podcast, you messaged a person on LinkedIn, you asked one more colleague, one more mentor, one more cousin who somehow has a very strong opinion about your life. And after all of this, something strange happened. You did not feel clearer, you felt more confused. Earlier, you had one doubt, now you have 10 doubts with you. And that is exactly what I want to talk about in this video. Because the problem is not always that people are giving you a bad advice. The problem is that when you already are confused, more people can actually make your brain more overloaded. You think you need more information, but what you actually need is a filter. Hi, my name is Amit. I am a clarity coach who works with post MBA professionals to declutter their thinking and get their career stories straight so that they can make decisions they actually feel confident about. And in this video, I will explain exactly why that happens and give you 3 questions to ask before you take advice from anyone. In the old world, people were confused because they did not have enough information. They did not know what careers existed. They did not know what jobs paid. They did not know what skills were valuable. They did not have access to mentors, podcast, LinkedIn, YouTube, online courses, AI tools, etc. But today, the problem is completely different. Today, most ambitious people are not suffering from lack of information. They're suffering from too much information. Everywhere you look, someone is telling you what to do. Learn AI, move to product, do an MBA, do not do an MBA, join a startup, join an established company, focus on money, focus on health, focus on passion, etc., etc., etc. And you know what the worst part is? Most of this advice does sound logical. And what it actually does, it just makes it more confusing for you. If one person was clearly wrong, it would have been easy. But when everyone sounds partially right, your mind gets stuck. Because now your brain is not choosing between the right and wrong. It is choosing between 10 different versions of maybe this also makes sense. And that is where the first concept comes in, choice overload. Choice overload simply means that when you have too many options, choosing becomes harder, not easier. We assume more options mean more freedom, but after a point of time, more options create more anxiety. Think about a simple example. You are hungry. You open any food delivery app. You just wanted to have your dinner, and then you start scrolling. Pizza, biryani, Chinese, a healthy bowl, a burger, South Indian. Everything looks good, everything looks tempting. And then you start checking ratings, delivery time, discounts. Then you wonder if you should have just cooked at home. 25 minutes later, you are not happier. You are irritated and you are still hungry. And now, even a simple act of ordering food feels like a project. Career confusion works in a very, very similar way. You start with one question: what should I do next? But after talking to 10 people, your brain is now comparing 10 different imaginary lives: the consulting life, product management life, MBA life, creator life, etc. etc. Every option has some upside, but they also have some risk. And suddenly, your career is no longer a decision. It becomes a mental courtroom where every option is making its case and your brain is sitting in the middle like a tired judge saying, "Can you please stop talking?" That is why more options do not always create clarity. Sometimes they create more noise. Your brain is looking for a direction. What you did is you gave it a buffet. And when there are too many options, the second problem starts: cognitive load. Cognitive load means the amount of mental effort your brain is using at one time. See, your brain has a limited bandwidth. It cannot process unlimited variables together. And career decisions are already heavy. Because when you are thinking about your career, you're not just thinking about a job title. You're thinking about salary, growth, learning, brand, location, parents' expectations, lifestyle, work-life balance, future demand, risk, stability, identity, etc., etc., etc. That is a lot. And then every new person you talks to just adds one more variable to this. One person says, do not compromise on money. Another one says, money will come later. Focus on learning first. Someone says brand matters. Someone says brand is overrated. Now tell me honestly, how is your brain supposed to process all of this? It cannot. It will simply start spinning. And that is why I want you to remember this line. Confusion is not always the absence of answers. Sometimes confusion is the presence of too many half answers. That is what happens when you take advice without structure. Every conversation adds something new, a new option, a new fear, a new comparison, a new doubt, a new what if. And slowly you're not solving a confusion, you're feeding into it. Because advice is not neutral. Every piece of advice carries the other person's context, their personality, their background, their financial pressures, their risk appetite, their timing, their failures, their luck, their fears. Most people are not giving you the universal truth. They are giving you their personal data point. A person who succeeded in consulting may tell you consulting is amazing. A person who got burnt out in consulting may tell you never to go there. A person who went abroad and found success may tell you India has limited opportunities. A person who came back from abroad may tell you India is the best place to grow right now. And you know what the strange part is? All of them may be telling you the truth. But their truth may not be your truth. This is where most people go wrong. They collect conclusions, but they do not understand the context. They ask, what should I do? But you know what a better question is? What was your situation when you made this choice? What trade-offs did you accept? What kind of person should avoid this path? What looks good from outside but feels painful inside? What did this career actually cost you? These questions don't ask the other person to decide your life. They help you understand the reality of their path. Because advice is not a prescription. Advice is a case study. And case studies are useful only when you understand the context behind them. So if you're currently confused about your career, before your next career conversation, I want you to pause and ask yourself these 3 questions. Do not ask people to make the decision for you. Ask them to fill the information gaps which you have. First, what exact decision am I trying to make? Not, I'm confused about my career. That is too vague. What is that specific decision? Which role to apply for? Whether to switch industries or not? Whether to do an MBA or not? Whether to leave this company or not? Etc. Because vague confusion attracts vague advice. Similarly, vague question attracts vague answer. Second, what information am I actually missing? Is it the day-to-day reality of the role? Is it the growth path, the salary range, the skills required, the entry route, etc.? Get specific. If you don't know what information you need, every piece of advice will sound equally important to you and equally confusing to you. Third, is this person relevant to this specific decision? Have they actually done what you are considering? Do they understand your context, your responsibilities, your constraints, your priorities? Not every successful person is a relevant advisor. Some people may be successful but have completely different constraints. So choose your sources carefully. And after your next career conversation, write down 1 clear decision and 2 information gaps you got answers to, and whether the advice was relevant to you or not. This one habit will change how you use your career conversations for. So let's bring it all together. More options create choice overload. Your brain freezes when it has to compare too many imaginary lives. Second, more conversations create cognitive load. Every new variable adds to the mental weight. Third, advice without context would just create a noise, because others' people's truth are built on their lives, not yours. So you're not confused because you do not have enough advice. You are confused because you do not have a filter. In the next video, we'll talk about why waiting for a perfect career clarity itself is a trap. And Why? The more you search for the perfect answer, the more stuck you stay. So if this video was about why more advice creates more confusion, the next one is about why more thinking creates more paralysis and what to actually do instead. Because career clarity does not come from asking everyone what to do. It comes from understanding yourself deeply enough to know which advice to ignore. Thank you.